Okay, so you have your list of questions. You know that you are only going to use credible sources or try to only use credible sources, things like answers.com or websites that are trying to sell you something, probably not super credible. And now you actually have to start researching. Dun, dun, dun. This is tough. I won't lie, but there are still some strategies to help make it easier. Okay, so this document that you all have has 4 extensions that will help make it easier, and I'm going to show you how each of those work in just a second. But I also wanted to draw your attention down here. There are the big search engines like Google and Bing, and they're wonderful. Don't get me wrong. But these ones are also kid-friendly. And so most of the articles on here are going to be a little bit easier to read, maybe shorter. So you can use these as well. If you are going to use Google, I recommend using the tools research feature right in your Google Doc, because then once you have searched for something, I'm going to search Harper Lee because that's what my other examples are going to be. If you decide to use information from a particular website, then you can hover over it and click Cite, and it's going to make step 5 like done for you. So that is why I would recommend using this tool if you're going to go ahead and just use Google. It kind of looks smaller here, but it really does pop up to the full-size article if you click on it. So there's that. But no matter how you get to the information, once you get to the information, once you have a website up, the next steps are all going to be the same. So I'm going to switch to my tab that has some information up. Sorry, give me a second to show this tab. Okay, so I have searched Harper Lee, and I just brought up this tab on her. All right, I want to show you how the 4 extensions work first and most quickly. One, the Google Dictionary, just double click on a word, and it's going to pop up with the definition of that word. So if there's just a word or two you don't understand, you can pop that up. That's kind of nice. Clearly, see how there's all this kind of garbage and stuff on the sides? In this one, it's not actually garbage, but on some websites, it's ads and things like that that can just be distracting. So if you use Clearly, that will get rid of all of that, and it'll have just the words, which can be helpful. TLDR, I think, is going to probably be your favorite, and you're going to find that sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I'll show you an example. If I were clicking on this website and I go to TLDR, it's going to think, and sometimes it thinks a lot longer. And it says, what? You're going to have to read it yourself? Aw, bummer. Sometimes there's no way around that. Other times there are. Say I can just take it section by section. So if I only, let me get my cursor working better. If I only wanted to learn about Harper's early life, for example, then I can try, I have it highlighted. Now I can use TLDR, and it's actually going to give me a little summary of the information, which is great. I can go for a shortened version, which I think in this is sometimes better than the summary because it gives you a little bit more facts. And of course, facts are what you want for your paper. So you can use TLDR. And a great thing about TLDR is Speak It still works with TLDR, but remember, Speak It, you can highlight just a section or you can go for the whole page. You can click on it and it should read it to you. So those are all great tools that will help you, but you also have to know how to do some research yourself. All right, so skimming is incredibly important. You do not want to read every word of every article. So if you're looking for a specific thing, like her birthday, you can skim looking for numbers, dates. If you're looking for percentages, salaries, anything like that, those are great because they're numbers and they kind of pop out. Otherwise, one thing I like to do is skim for anything that's written in quotes. Maybe a quote by the person could be nice, or I just read the first sentence of a paragraph and then the last sentence. And if I think, oh wow, this whole paragraph is going to be full of a lot of information, I can go back and read it. But usually the first sentence of a paragraph, like in 1949, 23-year-old Lee arrived in New York City. Okay, yeah, I don't really care about that. That gives me one fact. She was 23 when she moved to New York. Maybe I don't want to know more about that. But maybe in here, I can say, oh, one of her closest childhood friends was another writer to be, Truman Capote. And then I read the last sentence. Truman was living with his mothers. He was abandoned by his own parents. I happen to know that one of the characters in her book was abandoned, so that kind of clues me in that maybe that's where she got that idea from. So reading the first and last line, or just skimming, looking for dates, looking for places, time periods, proper nouns, things that start in capital letters, things that are in italics or all in bold might really be helpful. Abbreviations, and then read around it to find out what that is. And you'll probably be able to get the gist of the article just from that. Okay? So trying those things, and you probably won't be the greatest skimmer at the beginning, but you will get better at it. It's a skill. You have to practice it to get better at it. You can't just say after 5 seconds, I tried skimming it, this article has nothing, let me move on to something else. Or I tried skimming, it's not working, I can't do this, I hate it. All right, you actually have to practice in order to get better at it.